welcome back. So I wanted to do another video similar to the last two that I did about can you bring a little child, or should you bring a little child to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. I want to do that with Animal Kingdom too, because everybody knows obviously you would bring your small kids to the Magic Kingdom, but a lot of people don't know if they want to bring little kids to the other three parks. Now, when it comes to Animal Kingdom, there's kind of two questions that I get here. One is, what is there for little kids to do? And the other is it just a zoo? We have a zoo at home. So we were thinking we'll just skip it because we have a zoo at home. So I thought I would touch on both of those things today. So Animal Kingdom. First, I'm going to go through the rides, and then I'm going to go through everything else. So in terms of rides, and I have my list down here if you're wondering why I'm looking down. So in terms of rides, the main attraction, of course, is Kilimanjaro Safaris. And now this ride is for any height, meaning, you know, you could go on there with a 1-year-old, hold him on your lap, whatever. And it is 18 minutes long. So you get in a safari truck with a bunch of people, and they drive you through the savannah of the Animal Kingdom. Very, very cool. I mean, it's different every time. They can get super close to your truck. I've had them where animals are laying down in the middle of the road and you just have to wait. They try to have it so it's as natural and normal of an experience for the animals as possible. So you're seeing them as closely to their real environment as you possibly would outside of Africa. Now, of course, they can't just let all the animals mix, because some will kill others and that wouldn't make for a very, very great experience. So they do have some types of barricades to prevent them from intermingling, but you can't see them. Like, they might be these like cattle guards, these bars going across the ground where they would have to cross, but there's water over it, so you can't see it. But they have so much more space. This is not like a zoo in that they have so much more space. It is much more realistic of their natural habitat. So you really can see them in their natural habitat. Now, in terms of how they keep them engaged so they don't get bored, because it still is smaller than all of Africa, obviously, they do some things to keep them engaged. And for example, for the elephants, they'll like hide peanuts and small treats for them so that they have to look and find them. And for the lion, they wanted the lion to kind of sit up on top of this big rock. You know, it's kind of like a Pride Rock Lion King thing, so you can see them up there. Well, the lion never wanted to sit up there, or I should say the lions never wanted to sit up there when it first opened. So what they did was they tried to put a treat up there. I don't know if it was like a steak or something. They put a treat up there for the lion to see if, you know, if it would go up there and then lay down. And the lion would go and it would take his treat and then go lay in the shade or wherever it wanted to go. So what they ended up doing is they heat the rock in the winter months and they have it air conditioned in the summer months. So now the lion sits up there and is totally comfortable. So that part is obviously a little bit unrealistic to their natural habitat, but very, very cool. Highly recommend it. We do it at least twice a trip. I had mentioned previously that they also have a nighttime safari. I do not recommend the nighttime safari because Animal Kingdom is all about it being as natural as possible and not disrupting the animals. So because of that, they have very, very, very few lights. And you do not have like night vision goggles or anything, so it's really dark. So I recommend going during the day. We have seen some really cool stuff during the day, so highly recommend it. So the rest of them are not going to have that long of a description, but that is by far the feature ride at Animal Kingdom, and you have to do it. It is an absolute must-do. So the next one that for any age is Triceratops Spin. You go on these little dinosaurs. It goes up, goes in a circle. Any age can ride it. And then the Wildlife Express train, any height. Again, you know, a mom could have her baby in like a carrier, I imagine. This is a 7-minute train ride. It's a 1.2 mile journey, and it starts in Africa and it goes to Rafiki's Planet Watch, which I will touch on a little bit later what that is. But Again, any age can do that. Okay, so now the remaining 4 rides at Animal Kingdom have height requirements. Kali River Rapids has a minimum height of 38 inches or 97 centimeters. And this is a large raft ride. And you will get wet. You may get soaked. Absolutely soaked. They have lockers outside so you can put your gear in it, like your backpack or whatever you might have, if you want to put a poncho on, but you do have to wear shoes. But if you're bringing a backpack, a lot of times people will put flip-flops on and then take their shoes and socks off and put that in the locker. And I believe the lockers are free to use for a period of time, like an hour or something to that effect. It's a very fun ride, but when you are soaked, it's miserable. So because we do not like to bring bags into the park, we usually do not do this ride. But I think we're due for that. So I might want to bring a backpack the next time I go and, like I said, bring a spare pair of flip-flops and a poncho. But yeah, especially if you're wearing like jean shorts or something like that, and then those are soaked and your underwear are soaked, it's kind of miserable the rest of the day, especially if it's not hot enough to dry really fast. Fun ride. There are some drops, but it's not super steep. But the big thing is you get really wet. So, yep, that one is 38 inches for a minimum height requirement. Then there is Dinosaur, which is a 40-inch minimum height requirement or 102 centimeters. And this one is, there's not a ton of drops. I mean, it's indoors. You're in a car. There's a couple of little hills, but the thing is, it's dark and it's very, very loud. And you have like a big T-Rex, roaring, whatever, in your face. So that one would be scary. All kids are different, so it's hard to say like, oh, don't bring, I don't know how old you are when you're 40 inches tall. I mean, I can't say don't bring your third grader on it if they're 40 inches tall. It's not like I said in my last video, I was not scared of any of the rides at Disney World, so I would have been able to go on it. But yeah, if you think your kid can handle it, just tell them it's fake, it's not real. It'll be dark and loud, and you can sit next to them. There's 2 rows in the cars, and you have a seatbelt style buckle. Expedition Everest is the other feature ride, I would say, at Animal Kingdom. This one is a roller coaster. It does not go upside down, but it goes like straight down. Super, super fun ride, where you are running from the Yeti, or riding in the train from the Yeti. Minimum height requirement is 44 inches or 112 centimeters. Love this ride. But yeah, that one is definitely a roller coaster. And then the last one is Primeval World, and the minimum requirement for that one is 48 inches or 122 centimeters. And you're in like a round car style thing. I think there's 4 people in a car, and then the whole car moves along the track, and when it gets to corners, it kind of whips around. Fun ride. So I'm kind of surprised that the minimum requirement on that one is 48 inches because it doesn't seem, it's like a carnival style ride. They have one at our Six Flags in Illinois, but I never would have guessed that one would have the highest height requirement, but it does. Okay, so the next 2 rides are ones that are coming to Pandora, which is scheduled to open May 27th, 2017. So I don't have a ton of information on them yet. I haven't been on them, so I can't really give a big description, but they are the Navi River Journey. And this is all I know is it's a slow boat ride and there's no height listed, no height requirement listed. So I would expect it to be similar to It's a Small World in terms of all ages should be able to ride it. It says it's for all ages, so it doesn't sound like it's going to be scary or anything like that. And then Avatar Flight of Passage is also coming when Pandora opens on May 27th. And the minimum height requirement is 44 inches or 112 centimeters. I believe that one says you're riding on the back of something. I'll find the description and write it in here. But yeah, I don't have any more information on that one. Okay, so those are the actual rides at Animal Kingdom. Now, there are so many other things there. So they have a 3D show, which is in the Tree of Life. And it's tough to be a bug. That's for any height. But they do have a warning on there that it's scary for young children. It's dark like a theater would be, but they have, they have these big spiders that come down from the ceiling. They don't touch you. But everybody's screaming when that happens. So it's dark and there can be some loud parts. So I can see why that would be scary for a child. And it's an 8-minute show. But it's really cool because when you're going up to it, you can see all of the characters carved into the tree. So if you are with a small child that you don't think can handle the show, but part of your group wants to do that, you can go walk with them and look at all the carvings on the tree and find all the animals. And then when everybody goes into the theater, just keep walking straight and go out the other side and wait for them there. Because you enter the theater from the right and then you exit from the left. So when you're walking in, the people from the previous show are leaving on the left. Those doors are still going to be open. Just keep walking. And people do leave during that show. So if you're kind of uncertain, I would say maybe sit on the far left side, which is closest to the doors. But really, it's best for the other guests, I think, if you don't ride it, if you think that your kid might be afraid, just so they're not like screaming and crying while other people are trying to watch the show. But like I said, 3D, you wear bug eyes, 3D glasses. So they have some wonderful stage shows as well. And I am going to talk about my absolute favorite first, and that's Flights of Wonder. It is 25 minutes, and you're on bleacher-style seats, and it's outside, but it's covered, and it's a show with birds. I just absolutely love it. We do it every single time, every single trip, sometimes twice. It's just really cool, and it's very underrated. A lot of people don't take the time to watch it, so I really do recommend that. And because it's just a show with birds, any age can partake. And actually, that's true of all of these. They're for any age. The next is Festival of the Lion King, and that one is 30 minutes. And again, these are bleacher-style seats, and it's a theater in the round, as they call it. So you're sitting around, and then the performance area is in the middle. Great music, great acrobatics. They have some like floats that have Simba and Timon and Pumbaa, and it's very, very cool. So it absolutely would hold the interest of a little child. It's 30 minutes long, jam-packed full of a lot of really neat stuff. Finding Nemo, the musical. That one is 40 minutes long. That is theater-style seating. So you're in an actual seat, and you're watching. That's in like a bigger theater where there's a stage in front of you, and they have like giant puppets. So you actually see the people, and they are like holding the. I'll see if I can. We'll see if we can find a picture to put in here. But I don't really care for this one. But when I say that, please do not just skip it. I am the only person I have ever heard that doesn't care for it. Everybody else absolutely loves it. And everything Disney does is great. It's just not my style because I'm such a black and white person that I'm like, you can see the people. They're clearly like, that person's clearly Marlin, or this one's clearly Dory, and I don't know. But everybody else other than me loves it. So take my opinion on that one with a grain of salt. And lastly is Rivers of Light, which is their nighttime show, and that one is 15 minutes long. And we'll see if we can put a picture in. I haven't seen this one, but it looks really, really cool. So in terms of animal viewing that people think, it's just a zoo. They do have some zoo-type animal viewing. Now, they have a lot of trails. They have the Discovery Island trails where you can walk through and see the different animals. Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, which obviously gorillas. The Maharaja Jungle Trek, and I believe that one they have tigers. The Oasis exhibits. They have the Affection section, and that has a petting zoo. Goats, that kind of thing, typical petting zoo for small kids. And then they have the conservation station at Rafiki's Planet Watch. Now, I had mentioned this before, you have to take a train from the Africa part of Animal Kingdom to Rafiki's Planet Watch. And it's, how long did I say it takes? It's a 7-minute journey, 1.2 miles. And when you get there, they have this viewing area. It's where you can see like a veterinarian's office with glass in front of it, and you can actually see them doing procedures. Now, I have had very unfortunate luck here. I want to see them doing surgery, which if it's an animal that they can bring in for surgery, they do. Obviously, you're not going to see them doing surgery on an elephant indoors here. It's going to be something smaller, but I'm told they do absolutely do surgery there. Because they didn't have any kind of procedures for a couple of days one of the times when I was there, they did bring an animal in just for a regular exam so people could see that. And if I'm not mistaken, the vet actually had like a headset or something on, or maybe it was just like an intercom, but they were talking and explaining to the people what they were doing. So I'm told you can ask one of the cast members at the front of the park about the schedule for is a surgery scheduled for a certain day. And this is something, you can't plan this when you're planning your fast passes 2 months in advance. You can't say, oh, what's going to be having surgery. So that's kind of on a do they need it or do they not basis. So yeah, I would recommend asking when if this is something that interests you at their information station. I think it's on the right hand side when you're coming in, just a little ways after you've come in. Ask the cast member there, do you know if there's any animal surgeries scheduled for Rafiki's Planet Watch? Because I haven't done it. I really, really want to. And yeah, it looks like it would be really, really awesome. Okay, so they also have a play area for small kids, and that's the Boneyard. So if you have little kids that can't do some of the rides and you have bigger kids that are doing them, you can take the smaller kids there to play. Okay, in addition, Disney also has other entertainment. Now they have something in all of the parks called Streetmosphere, and these are live actors and performers that they're putting on a show. And when it's Streetmosphere, they're just kind of like in the streets and walkways. And these are things that they do have, some of them do have times scheduled, some of them do not, where it just says, throughout the day. But it's not something that I would necessarily make a point to go to the park for. But if you're there, they really add, if you think about it, Streetmosphere, it's adding to the atmosphere or creating the atmosphere in some cases. So this is very, very well done. So in Animal Kingdom, they have the Discovery Island Carnival, and they have dancers, stilt walkers, and musicians in a nighttime dance party. Obviously for little kids. Viva Gaia Street Band, and that's a 30-minute Caribbean street party. And the Harambe Wildlife Party, which is an African party. So lots of drummers, people dressed up in traditional costumes, dancing. I think it would be totally fun for little kids. And then additional entertainment, they have let's see if I can pronounce this. Chakranadi is a 30-minute performance. There's 2 musicians playing traditional Indian music. And then the Burudika is a 30-minute performance of Afro pop music. So a lot of music, if your kids like that, really adds to the atmosphere as you're walking through Animal Kingdom. And this is another good option. If something like this is going on, when you have older kids that want to ride something like Dinosaur or Expedition Everest, you can have the younger kids either playing, like I said, in the Boneyard, or watching these things and dancing along. So there are, like all the parks, they also have some character experiences, opportunities to do meet and greets. And at Animal Kingdom, they have Baloo and King Louie at Upcountry Landing, Doc McStuffins at the Conservation Station, Flick on Discovery Island, Pocahontas at Character Landing, Rafiki at Rafiki's Planet Watch, Russell from Up at Discovery Island, Tarzan on Discovery Island, Donald Duck, Goofy, and Pluto in Dinoland USA, and they have a bunch of other Disney characters, like Mickey and Minnie, of course, at the Adventurers Outpost. So hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of a feel of, first of all, is it exactly the same as my zoo at home? Is it worth the visit? Not like a zoo at home, totally worth the visit. And is there enough for small children to do? Absolutely. There's really not a ton that little kids can't do. In the main ride, the Kilimanjaro safaris, all ages can do. So I hope you guys found this helpful and it gave you a little bit of an idea of what to expect at Animal Kingdom. And thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.